The Pope slapped a woman on day 1 of 2020. World War III is trending on day 2. What will happen on day 3? Malaysian Airlines MH370 lands in Beijing and no one on board realizes they lost almost 6 years. Then they see the news they've missed and say fuck this and get back on. They step down the stairway. The sun in their eyes dash. Their face is a mixture of shock and surprise dash. What's happened? They whispered. And listened, and then dash. They got back on board. And they took off again. Whoa, never thought I would catch you in the wild, just 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes was my nickname in high school. Shame you never grew out of it. No, that was his body, just 3 inches. The day is almost over here in Asia, worry not, it's alright till now. For you maybe. For those on the US West Coast. They got a whole day coming. I mean, I am going to spend it getting a passport and renewing my registration anyway, so a nuclear apocalypse doesn't sound so bad. Patrolling the Mojave DMV almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Currently sitting in the DMV on a 3.5-hour wait, can confirm nuclear winter is preferred. I would rather sit in a bunker than in the DMV waiting. Life pro tip: find a DMV that is in a small town, like super small. Shorter wait, road trip and a day off. About the same amount of time. No wonder I never understood the DMV waiting jokes. There's like one person in line every time I've gone. Yellowstone fucking blows. This reads like an unsatisfied Yelp review of Yellowstone. You're gonna love the 1-star National Parks Yelp reviews. There are mosquitoes everywhere and I can get a larger portion of food from Olive Garden for the same price. Hard pass. Restock your beer more frequently, we bought you out in 3 days. I don't think this guy's an outdoors person. The outdoor bidet had way too much water pressure and it hurt my bum. 1 star. Australia burns. And then on day 4, my internet gets reconnected after 3 long weeks. Wait. Phone life. It's just not the same. Frown. Better watch out before our found mobile user gets ya. It's honestly the dumbest subreddit I've ever visited. Maybe not the worst, but definitely the dumbest. That opinion is so popular it should be on our unpopular opinion. I've never understood what the purpose of pointing out mobile users is other than showing off capital R noticing skills, which never really seemed like something anyone was in doubt about. Seriously, like, am I supposed to bring my laptop to the bathroom like it's 2006? I understand that you're upset about your internet, but setting a country on fire is overreacting. Jesus Christ, give the man his internet before he does something else. You forgot the apocalypse in Australia. Here in Jakarta almost 50 people have been killed in the worst floods in a decade and thousands of homes have been destroyed also. Very sad to hear, but blame is on the Indonesian government because of privatizing your piped water networks in 1998. Hopes were that privatizing in '98 would get more people using tap water instead of groundwater. Unfortunately, they didn't do shit to improve things, so the government took back control of piping in 2017. Since taking over though, the government has yet to develop any long-term policies to improve the network, so groundwater wells continues to be used by about 65% of the population. For anyone curious, too much groundwater extraction causes land subsidence. The groundwater is removed and the land collapses on itself to fill in that leftover empty space, reducing the altitude surface land sits. Jakarta is now recorded to be sinking nearly 7 inches a year. By 2025, 5 years, 1/3 of the city will be uninhabitable and several million displaced. Blows my mind the government would prefer to ditch Jakarta and spend $30 billion to move the capital 100 miles instead of fixing the piping issues present. Edit, adding sources below for you. Edit 2, stupid paywall on first link, screen grabbed and linked to Imgur. Infrastructure specialist Hong Ju Ham on what's directly causing sinking of city. Jakarta has sank more than 4 meters already. From private water pipes to government regaining control. Also estimate of total pipes needed. Cost of laying water piping in the U.S. Total sea level rise to compare to Jakarta's sinking. Thanks. I eat swamp ass, very informative. I imagine it is easier and cheaper to build a piping network from the ground up rather than modifying existing networks, or even just laying them down without disrupting daily life. Especially if the sinking will be so disastrous that 1/3 of the city will be lost in 5 years. I wonder if they'll get away with it, or that it will cause major backlash since it is essentially abandoning a sinking city. The moon will blow up suddenly and without warning. Thanks for the warning. Crap, now it won't blow up. But now it will. Crap. When little Timmy stared above to see the starry sky dash, he looked with hope and joy and love, and sat and breathed a sigh. How sweet it is to see, he said dash. How fair to find a place dash. How nice it is to stare ahead, beyond the skies to space. And so he sat and smiled, and soon he looked with peace and pride. A crack appeared across the moon, and Timmy fucking died. I was really hoping Timmy would fucking die today. Thank you, Sprague. I needed this. If anyone is interested in the aftermath, read Seven Eves by Neil Stevenson. The book literally starts with the moon exploding. Edit. Don't read the book synopsis, it spoils 2/3 of the story. Up until the final section of the book, I was convinced it was the best thing I'd ever read. You're 100% correct. If it had just ended instead of entering part 2, it would have been such a more powerful book. If you haven't already, read Cryptonomicon by Stevenson. It's as good as, or better than, by my reckoning, the first half of Seven Eves. I'm on record, multiple times, saying it's the finest American novel of the 21st century. Not nearly as Sophie as Seven Eves, but Stevenson proves himself a master of storytelling across its 1,000 pages. Alien invasion in the morning, second coming of Jesus in the afternoon. But whose side is Jesus on? The aliens. What a double cross. Nailed it. It was just hanging right there. See, this isn't fair at all. If I make a Jesus joke, I get crucified for it. True, some people take it overboard with their comments. Feels like a spear to the side sometimes. Donald Trump reveals his birth certificate. He was born in Mexico. Donald Trump reveals his birth certificate. He was born in Mexico and his middle name is Julio. Edit. Removed award speech. Meyer, Teniendo Nuclear, Michio fu un gran professor, científico y ingeniero, el Dr. John Trump del MIT, buenos genes, muy buenos genes, ok, muy inteligente, Wharton School of Finance, muy buena, muy inteligente, y sabes, seers un republicano conservador, si yo fuera un liberal, si, como, ok, si me postulara como demócrata liberal, dirían que soy una de las personas más inteligentes del mundo, inverted exclamation mark izquierdo. Pero cuando eres un republicano conservador hasten un número, por eso siempre empiezo, fui a Wharton, fui un buen estudiante, fui ali, hice esto, construí una fortuna, y sabes que tengo que dar mis credentials similares todo el tiempo, porque estamos un poco desfavorecidos, pero nos fijamos en lo nuclear trato, lo que realmente me molesta, hubiera sido tan fácil, y no es tan importante como estas vidas, lo nuclear es poderoso, Michio me explicó eso hace muchos años atrás, el poder y eso fue hace 35 años, él explicaría el poder de lo que sucederá y tenía razón, inverted question mark quien lo hubiera pensado? Pero cuando miras lo que está pasando con el cuatro prisioneros, ahora salen tres, ahora son cuatro, pero cuando entré incluso ahora, habría dicho que todo está en el mensajero, muchachos, Why sun mukakos pork, yasabes, no lo hasten, no se han dado cuenta de que las mujeres son más inteligentes en este momento que los hombres, así que, yasabes, le tomar otros 150 años, pero los perses son grandes negociadores, los iraníes son grandes negociadores, entonces, why ellos, simplemente nos mataron a nosotros. In English, yes, Trump actually said this. Look, having nuclear, my uncle was a great professor and scientist and engineer, Dr. John Trump at MIT, good genes, very good genes, okay, very smart, the Wharton School of Finance, very good, very smart, you know, if you're a conservative Republican, if I were a liberal, okay, if I ran as a liberal Democrat, they would say I'm one of the smartest people anywhere in the world, it's true, but when you're a conservative Republican they try, oh, do they do a number? That's why I always start off, went to Wharton, was a good student, went there, did this, built a fortune. You know I have to give my credentials all the time, because we're a little disadvantaged, but you look at the nuclear deal, the thing that really bothers me, it would have been so easy, and it's not as important as these lives are, nuclear is so powerful, my uncle explained that to me many years ago, the power, and that was 35 years ago, he would explain the power of what's going to happen, and he was right, who would have thought? But when you look at what's going on with the 4 prisoners, now it used to be 3, now it's 4, but when it was 3 and even now, I would have said it's all in the messenger, fellas, and it is fellas because, you know, they haven't figured that the women are smarter right now than the men, so, you know, it's gonna take them about another 150 years, but the Persians are great negotiators, the Iranians are great negotiators, so, and they just killed us, this is horrible. How do you fuck up English this bad? Honestly, dementia is a reasonable explanation. See videos of young Trump and you'll see a very eloquent idiot. These days it's a rambling mess of, what seems to be, words of the English language creatively arranged. Sometimes when I'm drunk and talking to multiple friends and respond to one comment while also having another story in my head and I jumble them together. I'll say like one sentence with maybe 10 words that come out this jumbled. But to be this way 24/7 should be completely disqualifying for literally any job. Crackpot scientist announces the discovery of FDL technology and simultaneously reveals the existence of humans to aliens who may or may not be hostile, because he got into a fender bender with their ship. Don't deny it, you'd watch it. Zephram Cochrane. It'll happen in 2063, not 2020 after the Third World War. Wait, have we already lived through the eugenics war? Or is that just running late? Human. So, how do you guys reproduce? Vulcan. Well, the Vulcan male inserts his erect penis into the female's vagina and thrusts until he deposits his genetic material. It is an intimate and pleasurable act for both parties, though not always the most logical. Human, you don't say. Also out of the loop there. They made it sound like he went a pimp named Slickback on her, but that's a normal reaction to being grabbed like that. These people gotta calm down with it. Yeah, I immediately went to see the video and was surprised because the title of all the articles were clickbait. If he hadn't shrugged himself free, the same news sources could report a woman assaults Pope, or security fails Pope, which I would think would be more justified. It must be just as infuriating to be yanked back by someone who forces you to listen to them as it is when your earbuds get yanked out of your ears by the door handle. That he only slapped her lightly to indicate that he wasn't going to go to her is to me an example of his patience. Pope nearly dies in assassination attempt. You won't believe what he did next. Then they cut the footage into 20 different 1-second clips that you have to view on separate pages. The dollar goes under. We now use Cheerios as currency. You trying to cheat me? These are golden grams. We don't take your European Union money here. Iran bombed something. Someone. Some me. Minecraft 2. Cave update. Don't tease me. I want them to double the underground layer size and make underground biomes like mushroom forests. Oops, saw creepers. Creeper biome. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. I have seen shit that will turn you white. When somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.